Episode 2. Welcome to the Roads Less Taken. I'm here today, Anthony Lapia, hosting with Don Valentis, and our special guest, Al Montagna.
That's right. Hello, guys. Thank you so much for having me here today.
The pleasure is ours.
Pleasure is ours.
All right.
So, Al, before we get into what will be one of the most epic conversations this year,
prepare yourself
in the podcast format, which is what Don promised. We want to introduce your organization, UnArthodox,
right?
Which you are one of the core founders of.
Correct.
And not only talk about the organization, but your journey moving from what you did for a career prior to UnArthodox to now running that organization.
How long is this podcast?
We have 2 hours and 3 days.
All right, cool. That should give us enough time.
Can you squeeze it in?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can make it happen.
Perfect.
Yeah, you could always drive back tomorrow for it.
I could. I was thinking of staying here overnight in Connecticut, but I changed my mind. Seriously.
It's like prehistoric times. Al drove 3 hours, so he actually figured he would just live here from now on. Rather than
That's right. My horse. I don't know if my horse can make it back. So
You may never come back to Connecticut.
Hey, Don.
Hey.
It's good to see you today. When I first showed up today, I just want to point out that Don, he was in a sour mood. Don, why were you in such a sour mood today?
I wasn't in a sour mood. I had a lot of things going on. A lot of work. I let work bother me today. I shouldn't have done that.
When Al showed up, you got super polite. You were laughing. You were very gregarious. But when I first showed up, you actually didn't talk to me for the first 10 minutes.
No, because I know you. Al's very interesting. He had a lot of interesting things to tell us. So I already know about you.
So this show, only after 2 episodes, there's a chance that the crew might split.
a lot of domestic issues going on. Let's not get into that.
Yeah. But. So unlike our show, UnArthodox is a creative space where Al, in synopsis, tells me that he teaches people to have fun or allows people to have fun. But Al, if you were to describe UnArthodox in a couple of sentences, what would that be?
Sure. You want the commercial version? Does that sound good?
Go really casual, but give me the whole.
Yeah. So UnArthodox is a creative space in the heart of New York City where groups and individuals, mostly corporate groups, come take part in unique, immersive, interactive experiences using various forms of art. It's all associated with art. For instance, one of our experiences that we can talk about, which is is our flagship, if you will, is Sculpture Without Sight, which is the exploration of the sense of touch. But the kicker here is you're sculpting blindfolded. So you're surrounded by carefully selected music as well as different types of aromas. Fantastic. So you're exploring your sense of touch. You're using clay as a tool and you're blindfolded. And it just takes you to a whole other level that it's fantastic. So that's when the UnArthodox comes in. UnOrthodox, taking art. See what we did there?
Love that.
That was pretty nice.
Yeah.
So
we have a really stupid name, but that's a great name.
Yeah, it doesn't roll off the tongue.
Ours is creative.
Sure.
Thank you.
It's pretty creative.
It doesn't roll off the tongue, but it certainly describes what it is that we do. And that's one of many of about 5 other experiences that we have in UnArthodox, and they're all meant to just have fun with art, and it's just explore your creativity without any bounds. We're breaking something. See, this is when I write my notes down. I come up with different things, but I'll come up with it later. It's like breaking the bounds of conformity. How's that sound?
I think you should write that down.
Yeah,
I would write it down.
All right.
Yeah, Don, write that down.
Also, if I sculpted without a blindfold, the finished product would look like I was blindfolded. Absolutely.
It's funny you mentioned that. It's almost like they have these courses for adults. It's called clowning. You put a nose, and then you can hide behind the nose. And so you can act silly, and it's okay because you're hiding behind the nose. With the sculpturing, there's no pressure of what the final product's going to look like because, hey, I was blindfolded. But that's the great part of it. Is for one, it's never about the finished product. It's always about the process. The finished product doesn't matter. But there's no pressure of what is this going to look like because, hey, listen, it was blindfolded. And for the most part, can I say that you've been there, you've done it?
I was actually going to mention it.
Oh, okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
It comes out great. You're blindfolded. There's no pressure. As long as you can feel your way through a mental image, it's an amazing experience. And with UnArthodox, there's 5 other ones that are kind of wacky in their own way, and they're meant to not just explore your creativity, but make you have fun. That's the bottom line, yeah. Isn't that bottom line in life? Trying to have a good time?
Absolutely.
I mean, you guys are having a blast, especially you. I can tell you're having a blast right now.
I'm having a blast right now.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
I actually, your mood has improved, I'd say 50 to 200% since the time
That's right.
that I got here today.
That's right.
Cheers to that.
Thanks,
so,
Al.
You mentioned it, Al. So as not everyone knows what Don and I do for a living on the podcast, but if you know us personally, Don is obviously in the real estate industry, and I'm in B2B sales. So leading a sales team with LinkedIn, I actually was able to go to UnArthodox both as a participant and then as the host. So I went with my boss and our executive team to go through the experiences, which was amazing. And I was taking over a new team in my own organization. And the first thing that came to mind was we needed a team building activity. And we didn't know each other that well. So we needed a place where we could be super vulnerable, allow people to drop their guards. Because, you come with your work face on and not everybody's super fun. Well, we ended up having a 2-day business meeting broken up by a night of dinner,
right?
And the experience, and the game show experience that we did is called...
It's called Picture This.
It's called Picture This.
Yeah.
And the amazing part of it was that we took people out of their comfort zone, got them to a place where they were super vulnerable. We were sculpting, we were singing. I like that. Barry White, man. That's how I sort of...
Any chance he gets, he'll sing.
Yes.
Any chance.
It's on video.
Any chance. Yeah.
We can upload that, Sam, if you'd like. We can go to my experience. I think there's some singing on there. They put the really good singers on the footage, Don.
Yes.
So I'm on there.
Only the good ones.
I would think so.
Oh, you're on there?
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that.
Nice.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Al's not sure how that happened.
Yeah.
I have to check that.
But
Might want to write that one down.
At the end of the experience, our team, for sure, working in different offices around North America, had started to communicate better, had started to, I would say, better socially interact. Like it wasn't all about work.
Right.
And I think that they learned things about each other that you don't learn sitting at the desk. And it had a positive impact. So how's that?
Sounds great. The only thing that I would say is that we purposely stay away from team building, more like team outing. Because team building, it's like, we got to do that with the team, and Karen's gonna be there. Nobody likes Karen, kind of one of those things. So it's like you're forced to go to the team building thing. This is more like team outing. Like, listen, guys, let's get out, have a good time. We're not going to do the trust falls. We're not going to run up and down with volleyballs or anything like that. We're just going to have a good time, and it's a curated good time. And at the end, everybody has a good time. So that's all that matters. But so like team outing.
If you don't know who Karen is, does that mean you're Karen? Because I think I might be Karen.
Yes.
Am I Karen?
No.
No?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You got it.
Thank you for being honest.
Yes. Nothing against Karens in general, but it's just the first name that came up. Gotcha. Sorry, Karen. That's not you, Karen. The other Karen.
But I agree with that. It's all about experience.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you get in my world, it's a lot of networking. So if I call it like team building or specifically like lunch and learn, people will be like, nah, I don't know if I really want to do that. But if you're like, hey, I'm having an outing, or we're doing a competition,
right, or
whatever it may be, you get a lot more interest.
Yep.
So, but it's about the experience.
And it's such a great benefit for teams. It's almost like it's giving a kid soup and he's really enjoying it, and you don't want to tell him there's vegetables in the soup, because certainly they're like, oh yeah, there's vegetables in the soup. So the same thing with this. If you tell them it's team building, no matter how good the soup is, you're gonna be like, team building, I don't want to do that. But if it's team out and having a good time, then hey, why not? Let's do it. And it's all about how you approach the situation. And right off the bat, we get skeptical people, apprehensive people that come, I guess my company's making me come here. And when you see that frown turn upside down, I came up with that. No,
trademark.
When you page two.
When you see Don's turn into Anthony's like that, it's fantastic. Oh, I got you.
Somebody's reading the room effectively.
Nailed it.
Yeah, nailed it. So one of the things that I noticed right off the bat, and then I want to get into your journey, because you didn't grow up and think that you were going to do this.
No.
Right?
No.
You thought you were going to play third base for the Yanks? Or?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
no big deal.
No big deal.
So one of the things I noticed immediately was this. So I was taking over a new team, and when you have a bunch of individuals, some of them are in Chicago, some are in New York, some are remote. If you're the person that they know, you're their point of reference, and they're going to come to you for most questions. What I noticed was that event helped people feel comfortable going to their teammates to ask questions. Help them solve problems and feel like, okay, I know that person now.
Right. Yeah.
Now they knew them already, but they really knew them after going through the experience. Not to oversell it, but really that was something that happened, and it's continued to foster like that relationship. Tell us how you got started, Al. Like you were in another career prior.
Yes. I'll try to put it down. I even wrote down a little timeline to try to remember how I did things, because I did a lot of things. You should be asking me what I haven't done before.
Our shows are about pivots, Al. Show us the pivot.
Yeah. Well, the pivot. So the pivot is not the entrepreneurship. That's most of the times when you refer to pivot, it's like I'm working in the corporate world for somebody else, and then that's it. I'm done. I pivot and start my own thing, entrepreneurship. I've been in business for myself for many, many years. I was the creative director for, my last job was the creative director for this company called Gemini Sound Products. It's like a pro DJ equipment. I was the creative director. I was like 26 years old. I was traveling the world, going to, Ibiza, to the raves, to all the trade shows all over the world, literally all over the world, in China, Germany, Spain, you name it. It was fantastic. So, I like to say something I patent as well. Everything that's good comes to an end. That's another original phrase of mine.
If every rose has its thorn comes out, I'm stopping.
That's it.
Because that one, don't touch that one.
Could be in the book.
That was yours.
Could be in his book.
That was yours. At that point of time, the company started getting some competition. These guys were old school. If you were a DJ in the 80s, you all had Gemini. So they just flooded the market, doing well. So I got laid off from that job. And that year, being 27, I was making good money. I just bought a house. I was going to get married that year. And it was great. I was living life. And I get laid off. Half of the company got laid off. So at that point, what better time to start a business, right? When you have a new house, potentially get married soon. I figured I have an office. I'm paying for a house. Why not? So I started my first my second. The other one, I was 16. I was stupid. But my first true graphic design agency. I started at the basement of my house. I barely had enough money to buy a phone. It was like a dungeon. The basement wasn't done yet. It was just like a raw basement. 10 years put into Habitat Visual Communications. Within a year and a half, I was out. We had an office. I had a partner who was a designer that came in from Gemini. I was the creative director who was working for me. So we came together like, let's do this. We can do this. All starts with a dream. And built a company. In 10 years, I had clients like, BMW, EA Sports. We did all the product. Most people don't know that EA Sport had to go. They had an entire kids line of toys, hockey sticks, everything. We launched the entire brand. Fantastic. So during that time, also I was going to medic school, EMT school, and I was asked to teach at Kane University as an adjunct professor there as well. So during those 10 years, a lot of things were going on all around design and marketing. Marketing. That's all I breathe. It's all about design and marketing, right? So one of the things that I noticed about when I was working in design, there's nothing creative about graphic design. It was essentially pleasing the customer, pleasing the client. They didn't know. They hire you to do their job. They don't let you do your job. So I started looking at it. It's just more work, more money, more work, more money, more. That's all it was. There was no point to. It was just like the more work I get, the more money I can get. The more work I get, there was no room for creativity, which I was a creative guy. So
Al, come closer to the mic. I just want to make sure we're getting. You got some good stuff going on.
Testing 1 2 test.
There
you got me. All right.
Full bass now.
Yeah. Look at the Barry White talking now.
That's the DJ.
That was nice.
Yeah.
So,
can you tell the rest of your experience in that?
Yes, I will. So I walked into the room, right? And after that, I had a fallout with my partner. We had 10 employees. To make a really long story short, it just didn't work out. So I sold the company to him and started another graphic design agency, which is all I knew. All I knew was graphic design. I taught it. I had an agency for 10 years. That's all I knew. So I started the second agency, and that's when the pivot started to happen. I was by myself. I had different, right away I got an office. Right away I started networking. That's when I started going to BNI. Everybody does that. And I started to feel the struggle. Right? It's like, man, I even got a business coach, Madison Reyes. It was great. He was new at the time. And to try to help me out, he was like, listen, I got to make this happen because this is what's supposed to happen. This is what I know. So I tried it for about 3 years, struggled every single minute of it. It was just like I didn't want to go to work. I was working from home and I was going to the office. until he said to me, one day I was pumped and I had my session with my business coach. And I'm like, okay, all right, Madison, I need strategies. We're going to make this happen. He goes, I'm not going to give you strategies. And I said, what do you mean, man? He's like, I'm not going to give you strategies. Why not? Come on, let's go. Let's do this. We got to make this happen. He goes, no, I'm not going to give you strategies because you're going to fail. I'm like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? And I'm thinking, he's my coach. He's supposed to be, giddy up, rah, rah, rah. So he goes, I'm not going to give you strategies because you're going to fail. And I said, well, what do you mean by that? Al, you tell me what I mean by that. And after an hour conversation, I said, Madison, I don't want to do this shit anymore. He was like, thank you. In our relationship, this is the first time that we were actually honest. And everything that I knew, it just lifted away. It's like just a weight off my shoulders. I didn't know what I was going to do next. I just know that I didn't want to do this anymore. Something that I've been trained for. I teach in a university. I've had several businesses doing it. And I said, I don't want to do this anymore. I didn't know what it was. But it felt fantastic that, okay, I understood that this is not something that I wanted to do. And it wasn't a mistake. It wasn't failure. It was just,
you were freed.
I was freed. Literally, I was freed. Yeah. And then from there, I started to play around with, I was doing some art. This is when the company that we were talking about pre-show, RLT, with my now partner, Maria Cordova, and her partner, Natalie, they represented me as an artist. So I'm like, I was having a midlife crisis. I didn't buy a Porsche, so it wasn't a complete midlife crisis. I didn't have the money either. So
what types of art?
It was mixed media. It was a mixture of photography, mixture of painting and collage. So they were representing me. And I did well. I had a couple shows in New York City. I had a lot of interest, some sales, which is great. But I was having a hard time getting used to the fact that I was saying I'm an artist. Right? I'm like, what the hell is that shit? It's like an artist. It's like, you don't say, especially me, I busted my ass all these years going to corporate meetings, and that's another thing. It's like when you're a designer, all your meetings are corporate meetings, and they're telling you this is what you have to do, and now I'm an artist? What kind of bullshit is that? It's like, I didn't believe it myself. I'm like, no. Had a couple shows, great reviews. I had a couple articles written, all kinds of good stuff like that, but then my entrepreneurship started kicking in. And I'm like, I got to do something with art, but I can't do this. This is kind of flaky. And this is when I got together with my partner, Maria. She was having difficulties with the same client. I actually got involved with that representation company that I was being represented by because I saw the possibilities of the brand. I'm like, I can blow this up. I'm a marketing guy. I'm a branding guy. This RLT's art, I can blow this up. This could be a great brand.
So there's a capitalist inside you with that artist.
Always. There's always been a capitalist. And so I was like, yeah, this will be great. I got involved with the company for a short time, and I realized that I didn't see eye to eye with one of the partners. So I decided to say, hey, guys, this is not going to work out. And once again, I was in limbo. I'm like, what the hell am I going to do next? I was doing I'm a photographer as well. I'd done a lot of photography that got me through the rough financial parts. And then Maria calls me up and we were like, we should do something because we both love art, but we don't love the situation that we're in now. And she goes, she went for a jog in Prospect Park. She gives me a call. It's like, let's do something where we can just combine a whole bunch of different things in art and just have fun with it. I'm like, I'm in. Let's do it. And next thing you know, we sat down in Prospect Park with a pad and started running some ideas. Within a couple of months, I was able to get an investor. And I think 4 months from the time that the idea came up out of thin air, we were already in Chelsea with a brick and mortar space trying to develop this company. This country.
We
do that in the next episode.
Yeah, that's not this one.
So that's like, I'm trying to squeeze everything. It's a bunch of other things in between. Again, I was as an EMT, I was working side jobs just to keep some money coming in, and I was also very, very fortunate that my wife always supported me in my ventures, and we always struggled with that, but I was very fortunate that I always had a support structure at home that would help me sort of like, okay, yeah, just do it. Make it happen, and that kept me going as well. So it's a bunch of different combinations that came together to put me where I am now.
You need that support structure, otherwise it's just the added stress is
gonna
eat at you. And
you do, and some people may say, we can get into all the corny stuff like you can do it. But some people may say that, well, Al, it's not fair because you had, my wife is a teacher. Salaries are not, we're not, buying Porsches here or anything like that. So, but I had medical insurance, which is important. And there was a steady income coming in. Not a lot, but needless to say, we had to tighten our belt very, very tight.
So you weren't a starving artist?
I wasn't.
I came up with that one, by the way.
Yes, you did?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Write that down, starving artist. No, I wasn't a starving artist, fortunately. But, it's rough. You got 2 kids, camp, everything, all this cost coming along. I guess you can say I had an unfair advantage, if that's even an unfair advantage, to say I had somewhat of a support structure, which is great. On the other hand, my partner, Maria, she didn't have anything. So I admire her for that. She stuck around for, now we've been in business for 3.5 years, and it got rough a couple of times. It's like, holy crap, I may have to go sell my body in the weekends just to, pay for rent. That's a big joke. So it got rough for her as well. I admire her for her sticking through this, and I helped her too. Sometimes she wanted to give up on this. Like, is this really working? I'm like, let's be patient. Let's just keep working. We have this idea. We have this motivation. By the way, if I may sidetrack a little bit, can I?
Yeah.
So
sidetrack away.
Yeah, otherwise, I will.
Yeah. No. So most people say you need ambition and motivation, and more importantly, capital. I think Barbara Cork can say that you need ambition, motivation, and more importantly, capital to do anything. My thing is that you need conviction to do anything. You got to convince yourself first that that this is going to happen, because otherwise, if you can't see the final picture, if you can't convince yourself that this is going to work, then you're going to give up. And that's the thing with pivoting, is that once you decide, first of all, pivoting happens for one or two reasons. One is because either you got fired or you no longer have a job, or another thing, your personal life, maybe you got divorced or something. But for the most part, people don't pivot who have a nice job, who have benefits. They may not be very happy in their job, but, they're doing their thing. Most people that pivot, it's like, okay, holy crap, I just got fired. I need to do something else. Or something drastic happened in your life that you have to change. And that's the problem, that most of us just kind of go along with the system. And then by the time you realize, like, now I'm 46, I'm like, at least I can look back and say, oh, that was kind of cool what was done. But anyway, so yeah, going back to the creation of the company, it was tough at the beginning, but I was convinced that this is what's going to happen and people are going to love this because I love it. So
belief in mission is the most important thing. Probably aside from capital and the ability to be patient.
Right.
But that definitely plays in, no matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
Question, because obviously this is a creative outlet for us. Right. We both have full-time corporate gigs that we happen to enjoy, but we were looking for something that would allow us to meet interesting people and learn from them. And then we met you.
I was going to say, have you started yet?
Yeah, no, this is a warm-up. But when you imagine the organization, or when you and Maria sat down and imagined the organization, how close is what it is to what you believed it would be?
Oh, that's a good question. So let's see. There's things that changed throughout the plan. Like now we're more of an adult playground. Playground, I guess that's a new word too. Adult playground, but not that type of adult playground, the other type. And then we were thinking of doing.
This isn't Times Square in 1975.
Yeah, exactly. So we had other ideas. We had a kids program. We had a wellness program involved. Different ways to make revenue. Because at the beginning, you're like scared shitless that how are we going to pay this Chelsea rent? That's all big, huge numbers for us now that we had to figure this out. Fortunately, again, one of my close friends who I just happened to be talking to during lunch and told him about my idea, he says, I want to invest in that. I'm like, really? And it wasn't a ton of cash, but just enough to get her started. But from the beginning, when we started looking at the outline of the company, it stayed within line. I mean, the programs, the experiences changed a little bit, but it stayed within what we originally planned it. So, so that's helpful too, to be able to see it through. It's not changing dramatically. It's just, tweaks here and there.
So now every day for the past well, 3 years you've now been in business, 3+ years.
Right.
You get to basically do what everybody dreams of doing, which is doing something that they love.
Right.
It's not like we can see the passion coming from you, and you enjoy doing it.
Oh yeah.
So it's not a job really. It's you're going in and you're enjoying every day. It's an experience for you.
It is. It is a job for sure.
Sure, there's definitely a job.
The biggest
piece of it
crap that I ever heard was like, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day of your life. Came up with that too. And that's the biggest, pile of bullshit I ever heard. Because if you love you're going to work 10 times as harder than if you don't, because you're just being passive.
Of course.
Now, it is a job. It's sometimes you're just like, oh man, come on. But what's important to realize during this entire process is to appreciate the steps that you make and celebrate each steps. If you told me 3 years ago, right, that I was going to have a studio in Chelsea, New York City, making good money with having clients like LinkedIn, Facebook, Google, American Express, Red Bull, every client you can think of. Yeah, forever. I mean, I can go Goldman Sachs. I mean, I look at the website. It's major names that come to us constantly, and not only come to us, but they thank us for being here and providing this service. I would say you're full of shit. There's no way. I mean, it was fun, it was cool, but the fact that the most gratifying part is that it's, and I like to say that our customers are never right? Most people like the customer is always right. And I think we had a little conversation about this.
Yeah, go into this.
Yeah. And I think I'm a big fan of Simon Sinek. Some of the things that he says, they make a lot of sense. The guy's not a genius, but the things that he said make a lot of sense. Like, for instance, if we're friends, it's like, hey, Don, listen, we're friends, right? Yeah. Do you like the shirt that I'm wearing? Should I change it? How about the pants? You want me to change the pants? It would make you a better friend if I change the pants. And you're like, dude, what are you talking about? I like you for who you are. I apply the same concept to business. Most companies have focus groups to see what the customers want from them. I'm the other way around. I'm like, hey, this is what I got for you. You want it? It's great. It's awesome. We don't do focus groups. We just simply made connections with people. That's the bottom line. And so the way that it works is the other way around. Our customers are not always right because we planned this carefully, not very carefully. This is the best part. It's like we didn't do any type of intensive research on what's going to happen, the reaction of people and all this other crap. We just say, hey, listen, let's just have a good time and do it. Forget about the establishment of business and just have a good time. That's the best part about the entire thing is that, I tell my team, we don't call them employees and staff, and they can tell you this, it's our team, we're working together, is that the customer is not always right. As long as we do what we're supposed to do, and all that is just smile and treat people like you're having a good time, that's all you need. And you will never be wrong because this is what it's all about. It's about having a good time. Like, chill out. I mean, you have those people that come in here and they're like, oh, well, can we? Dude, sit down and shut up. And I don't mean to be rude to my clients, but the reality is they want that. They want to become part of the team. Yeah, it's great, man. I mean, you look at the team videos, we're having a good time. But even though to continue on your question, what was your original question? Because I tend to go all over.
It wasn't really a question, just a statement of that you were passionate and love what you're doing, and I'm assuming that you enjoy.
Yeah, I enjoy. I get up every morning. I enjoy. I most of the time with everything. There's always the bottom of the iceberg. You see the top. It's great. There's always a lot of pain and suffering involved with that. But as long as you can justify the pain and suffering with, I'm doing what I like to do, then you're good. The problem is when you have pain and suffering and then the top of the iceberg is kind of brown and dirty, you're like, oh man, you put the equal, if not more amount of work into it. But at the end of the day, if you appreciate what you have and you realize, hey man, wow, we created this? And again, Maria's a little more skeptical. I'm always like, let's have a drink. You realize that we had to not book Facebook because Google's booked on the same spot? I'm like, what? Who would have thought that? It's fantastic. It's great.
Part of the magic of what you guys do is the companies you just named off, a lot of them are category creators.
Yes.
Right? They are type A individuals in many cases. They're making big decisions. They're driving customer strategy. It's nice at the end of the day to be told what to do.
Yes.
Some prescriptive nature of showing up and saying like, okay, I'm not going to think about this. Like, you tell me what I'm supposed to do,
Yes.
Mr. or Mrs. Unorthodox.
That's
and
right.
Let me have some fun.
That's right.
Please.
That's right. The nature of our business is to have fun. So you can't really screw that up, right? Yes, you can sometimes double schedule someone. You have to make up with something or something silly like that. But at the end of the day, you were scheduling just a fun time. So we'll make up for it or something. If we made a mistake, we'll make up for it. But at the end of the day, you're having fun. And it's not, don't take yourself that seriously. You know, it's about having fun. And you can, this is what's wonderful about this company. It's like, let's just have a good time. And for some companies, again, and I mentioned, these big companies, not to pat myself in the back, but yeah, a little bit.
This is the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would mention that.
But it's we had executives. We get the phone call. Well, Al, these are the executives from Goldman Sachs are coming from all over the world, and we're having a forum, and they want to do something fun, and we thought that your place would be good. All right, no problem, bring them up. And we have executives for Goldman Sachs underneath cutting cardboard to make a shark for their movie, their virtual reality movie. It's like, what? They're painting and they're having a good time, and we're filming their whole thing for all of our private experiences. We film the entire event, so they get a edited video at the end of all the highlights, so they can you'll see them having a good time. And there's no more gratification or satisfaction than to see people who walk in. I think I mentioned to you the story with the Ministry of Denmark. Did I tell you this?
I don't think so.
Oh, great story. This is one of my pivotal, not pivotal, but more impressive moments for myself. We had the Foreign Ministry of Denmark had some kind of forum at the United Nations. So diplomats, government, officials, there was 40 of them. They pretty much emptied out the country and came, politically speaking, and came for this forum to the UN. And so they thought that Sculpture Without Sight would have been a great idea for them. We had it all catered. It was wonderful. They all come in. They all have suits with the pin on them. Every time you see a suit with a pin, there's some importance there.
Write that down.
Yeah, there's definitely some importance there. Yeah.
I'll be getting pins.
Yeah, definitely getting pins. So, and they came in suits, and women and men, very powerful women and men, diplomats. So, all right. So at this point, this was tours. I was the host before we had. Now we have multiple hosts, and they all sit down to do their Sculpture Without Sight, and I say, okay. So, I understand there's a lot of important people here tonight, right? And they were like, well, yeah, And one guy goes, yeah, well, if something happened in UnArthodox today, Denmark would be in trouble, because there were so many people. And I said, well, tonight you're in my house, so you're going to listen to me. And they're like, all right. So they started taking their jackets off and roll up their sleeves. I'm like, yes, I made it. Because it's like, what? It's the government from a country coming to, what? I just came up with this stuff like a couple of years ago. Now I have governments, in my house, because it feels like your house because you spend one time there and you do it in your actual home. And they're like, dude, this is great. And they leave, they're laughing, they're high-fiving me, giving me hugs, and this is great. And the jackets over their shoulders. And that to me is I made it. That's when you realize, that I made it. When one of my pivotal moments when I realized, wow, that's it. Now
this works.
This works. And then every other time is just gravy. It's like, wow, it keeps working. This is great. I can't believe it's working.
Well, it is nice because you forget that there's people in power and there's CEOs and CFOs or even athletes, and they're held to this different standard because of their position.
Right.
But they're just regular people. They're just
people,
like you and I. They may make a lot more money than us.
Yeah.
Or just be in a different power, like a position of power. But they're regular people that like to have fun. And the one thing you keep is a common word that keeps coming up is laughter.
Yeah.
Everyone's laughing and having fun. And that's the release for me. And you can probably attest to this. I always like to just laugh and have a good time. Sometimes to a point where some people will be like, "Can you just be serious?" Like every once in a while. I'm like, I am being
the mood
serious.
he was in, he might have left had he not been so funny. I'm serious. He's better now.
Yeah, no, it's good.
But it does sound like that. People open up and then it's a lot of laughter and with that, like you said, you get out of your comfort zone and you have a good time. And
you have a good
laughing.
time. That's right.
There's one thing though, and he wants to know, but he's being too polite to ask.
Uh-oh.
There's been somebody who's been a resistor. Someone has flipped you off and told you, I'm not doing this. Like, talk to us about a time when someone was a resistor. You don't have to name them, but there has to have been some follies.
Well, here's the thing: this is a beautiful thing because it's everybody knows me for who I am, and I've always been pushing forward, doing fun things. So not once, believe it or not, someone say, I don't know, Al, that's not a good decision, because they know that I've always, everything that I've done, I kind of pushed forward and became successful in some way, shape, or form. So that's another beautiful thing. You're right. Most of the time you have the haters. It's like everybody calls it the haters. All this posts like, oh, tell the haters to go hate somebody else.
The trolls.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care, honestly. Even if they were, I've never had someone say, oh, now in my industry, just because my personality wouldn't allow it. For one, I wouldn't associate myself with those who are trying to bring a man down, and I've never had that too much in my life. If anything, I always blame myself if there were things that didn't go the way that I wish they did. I never blamed it but anybody else. And the way I would treat those people are like anybody else who's ignorant and arrogant or something. Like, okay, cool, turn the page, see ya. But I haven't had much of that. I had a lot of challenge with running the company, and at the beginning with the right team put together. But for the most part, that's the whole point. That's the whole idea of this conversation. It's let's have a good time, and it just happened to work. So I never had those business things like, oh, you're not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to do that. Oh, well, you should consult with, you should have a board, you should have this, you should have that. Like, dude, chill out. Let's just have a good time and see what happens. It's so simple. It's almost like the bottom line. I get told, how do you come up with these innovative ideas for like sculpture and this and that and this? I'm like, it's just very simple. It's bringing down to the basics. It's like basic art. It's like basic human connection. Everybody wants a human connection, right? The moment you walk in, people are smiling. You experience that, they greet you. It's like, hey, listen. Someone just recently said that they wrote a review saying that the staff is having fun along with you. And that's what it is. We're having a good time doing it.
I saw that.
Yeah. Especially with Picture This. It's like a fun, Picture This, just if I can explain it, it's like a combination of Pictionary, charades, the Wheel of Fortune, Taboo, and a bunch of other games turn into a competitive word guessing game show, right? So it's like Pictionary on steroids, essentially. You have
getting people out of their seats is the key. Yeah.
It's like a big digital wheel. You spin it, and whatever it lands on, that's the medium of art you have to use to describe that word or phrase to your team. And the singing part it's called La La La. If you land on La La La, you get a card with a song, and you have to La 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 your way through it. So if it's La 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 La, and somebody gets it, everybody goes crazy, which is great. And now, I don't know if we did this when you were there, but now we have a spotlight. So when you get La La La, the room goes dark, and you feel like you're on stage.
I believe that was there the second time.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. So it gets, and you figure it puts you on the spot, but it doesn't, because everybody's having such a good time. But
who doesn't want the spotlight on them?
You.
Yeah.
No, I do.
You always.
I have one on me right now.
You literally have a spotlight on you right now.
I literally have one on me right now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to turn the tables.
Oh boy.
We have a few minutes left before we wrap up, and I want to play a game with the two of you.
Okay.
We're going to get the two of you going. But before we do, tell the listeners where they can find you. More information about UnArthodox, because it's not just corporate events, but for those people booking corporate events.
Yeah, it's corporate events, it's private parties, and we also have Sculpture Without Sight for the general public about once a week. Very simple. Go to UnArthodox.com, and you have all the information, videos, pricing, everything that you need. Even catering menus, because we do full catering as well. And just go there and see what we have. If you're a corporate group, go into the corporate section. You'll see everything that you get, and it's cool. Again, you get videos. You get your logo up on the wall. It's really cool. But yeah, you can start there.
Instagram, Facebook too.
Instagram, it's UnArthodox NYC. Facebook. See, my social media company is going to kill me because I don't get involved. But it's our hash. We're UnArthodox NYC on Instagram, and you can see us there as well. So UnArthodox NYC. And you'll see lots of cool videos and stuff like that on there as well.
We'll put all your handles up for the probably millions of people that are going to watch this. We'll have it. We'll have it listed there.
Yeah,
all
cool.
Right. So I'm going to ask you guys real quick. I'm going to give you a series of questions. Underrated, overrated is the name of the game.
All right.
And I'm going to give you a couple of seconds each time to tell me why your answers are what they are.
Okay.
So you're going to write your answers. Don't say them until the other person holds them up. Then we'll hold them up after. So
all right.
we're going to go into
like
some
an
of these.
exercise.
I want to get the way that you guys think, and I'll read off what your answers are.
All right.
In case it's not visible on camera.
Cool.
So this is just a series of random things, and I
Right.
want to get the way that you guys think for our little game. Get everybody
All right.
involved. Uber Eats, underrated or overrated? Don's read. This is like a standardized test. He's taking time to answer.
I
this
know,
stuff.
right?
What did you go with, Don? Underrated or overrated?
I went underrated.
Underrated. Why?
I went underrated because everything is going to that model, and I love it that you can just order food and get it from wherever you want, and they deliver it to your house. The one caveat that I have to that is the piece that was on the news where the gentleman took a healthy sip out of the young kid's milkshake before he handed it to him.
Oh.
Now, I don't know if that was Uber Eats. It could have been another one.
You don't want to slander them.
I don't want to slander Uber Eats, but I guess if I don't know, it doesn't hurt me.
Underrated. What's your call out?
Way overrated.
Way overrated.
It's a delivery system. You got like a million of those, like the whatever Roadrunners and the you just get something. It's just they're just writing the brand. That's all they're doing.
Sam is the judge and jury. Sam, thumbs up or thumbs down? That's the decision of the group. Overrated, Sam says. That was your
Sorry,
call,
Don.
right?
Whatever.
Overrated. Okay, we got 1-0 Al. Listen, he owns a game.
Can we do
related
can we have
organization.
like that competition, your mama jokes, and whoever gets the
Next
laugh?
episode? Although he's got good ones. I know. We've known each other.
Oh,
a long
nice.
time.
All right, next time.
All right, let's go. Massages, underrated, overrated. We're talking straight massages, no Bob Kraft, or we're going Robert Kraft. We're going overrated, underrated. Massages.
No video.
No video, no proof.
Okay, I'm in.
Answer.
Underrated. Underrated.
Absolutely, 100% underrated.
Yeah.
We don't
Underrated.
even
We're
need
in
to discuss
agreement.
it.
Okay, no
Yes.
reason to discuss
We
it.
know
They're
why
wonderful.
it's underrated.
You
They're
guys
amazing.
both think underrated. Sam,
Yes.
overrated. Sam says overrated.
Overrated.
Wow.
All
That's
right.
no score for the room.
Wow.
Judge and jury. Samuel.
Sam.
Sam,
I think it was a nice guy.
massages are awesome. No?
Do you get massages, Sam? Oh, nice.
Oh, all right. We're gonna have to add that to the list, but not today.
How about Uber massages?
Uber massages. That's coming next.
Got any more
Hey,
investors?
he's a category creator.
Yeah, that's right.
Uber massages. All right. Starbucks coffee, and in the context of versus other coffee. Underrated, overrated. Don.
Hugely overrated.
Thank you, Don. I was gonna
Disgustingly overrated.
Oh God.
Overrated. Why?
Because it's coffee. You can go to Cumberland Farms. Now, I don't know if they have that where you are. I think you have Wawa in New Jersey, right?
Wawa's-
We have
Which
Wawas.
we used to
Wonderful.
have that in Connecticut.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
gone, and it's such a shame because Wawa's amazing.
Yeah, well, it's amazing.
But here we have Cumberland Farms. You get a coffee for $1. You run in, you get a coffee for $1. You go to Starbucks. It's wet. It's just overrated.
What you have to think about it is that Starbucks is a lifestyle, just like
It's a lifestyle.
like the gym. What's the fancy gym?
I mean, I noticed that you called that out. You must be seeing that I have impressive biceps. That's why you
Yeah,
asked me the question.
yeah. You know, I was
You're also flexing.
I'm
for it.
drawing them. yeah. I didn't realize I was coming to the gun show. This should be illegal. I'm definitely overrated. What's the name of that fancy gym? Really quick.
Oh, you talking about like New York Sports Club?
No, the other one.
Equinox.
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 Yeah.
Overrated.
Overrated. That's what I'm
Weights
saying.
or whatever you
Well,
Starbucks
it's
is the
overrated
same.
because Starbucks, you can go in there and there's like a family and there's like one person getting coffee and then 6 kids getting drinks.
You could both
Yeah.
be wrong, Sam. What do we got?
Starbucks.
Starbucks. Over or under?
Way overrated.
Way overrated.
Overrated.
Okay.
Yeah, got it.
Sam
one
is not,
more.
He is not easily impressed. Last
Yeah.
one. Smart watches. Make your decisions. This is a big one.
Yeah.
I don't have an opinion on any of this. I have all these things that you're talking
You have an opinion on everything.
about. I have an opinion on
Yeah,
it.
you do.
Do you
All
have
right.
one? Do you have? Oh,
Let's go here
overrated.
first. Overrated. Don?
Overrated.
Overrated. Why?
Sensory overload, man. You know, I mean, you don't need everything just like that all the time. I mean, it's good enough. It's better enough to have a phone in our pockets all the time. I just think that it's too much information constantly, and I think it's overrated. I mean, look at Unorthodox basics. You know, this is too much stuff. Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Same?
I think it's overrated just because I don't have one.
Okay.
It is driving me nuts that my
Yeah.
phone has been over there the whole time.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's sensory overload.
All
If
right.
I had
Yeah.
to watch, it'd be too much.
Sam, what's your call? Overrated. All right.
All right.
On that note, we found out that you two are mostly in agreement.
Right.
Sam believes everything is overrated. That's okay.
I think so.
He's not easily impressed. one of the things that I think is incredibly overrated is our podcast, right?
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah.
But it's been awesome having you on it.
Hey, man, it was a great time. Thank you so much, guys. This is an honor to be in your show. Second guest at the beginning when this is going to blow up.
Listen, it's like your seed investors, right? Get in early.
That's right.
Early and often.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, but thank you, man. It's been awesome having you,
Yeah,
Al.
it's great.
Everybody go check out UnArthodox.com. Get information. I've done the experience twice. You will not regret it, whether it's for professionally related events or whether it's for something with a group, like for a bachelorette or a bachelor party or a get-together with friends. Check it out, and you will not be disappointed. So this has been The Roads Less Taken. We'll see you next time.
Peace out.
See ya.